Welcome back to our channel, guys. Today's topic is about impact of video games on children. So let's define first what are video games. A kind of computer-controlled games where players interact with objects displayed on a screen for the sake of entertainment. Video games are prime source of entertainment for children in today's world. Video games are introduced back in the 1970s, which consisted of games such as the Pong. In the late 1980s, video games started to become more developed. Now, due to advancement of technology, it made video games much more realistic than ever before. Today, approximately 90% of children spend about half of their day playing the video games. Our objectives: to understand popularity of video games among children, to know the positive and negative effects of the video games, to understand if video games increase aggression or not, to know how much time they spend on playing video games, to get information about solutions that parents would apply to reduce their kids to addiction to the video games. Now we have here some examples of types of video games available on the net. The shooter, adventure role-playing games, simulation games, sports, and action. Advantages of playing the video games: it develops physical skills, increase brain capacity, social connectivity, decision-making, and disabled people. Disadvantages of playing the video games: sleep deprivation. These are the negative effects. No outdoor activities, waste of electricity, loss of studies, and tiredness or eye diseases. Eye disease. Okay. So what are the treatments? One-to-one counseling with a psychologist, family therapy, video game addiction treatment centers, wilderness therapy, video game addiction books. Statement of problem: many children are addicted to electronic devices. There is not much control of parents on their children. This addiction affects their mental and even physical health. Children face loneliness, depression, and social isolation due to lack of in-person contact with the others. We choose this topic to analyze the impact of growing video games popularity among children. The review of literature: how video games and internet overuse create problems with college students. There are several factors that push adults, especially students, to play video games. Another negative effect of video gaming is found in the health of the gamer. If gaming is overused, this may lead to dry eyes, headaches, backaches, eating irregularities, and sleep disturbances. In the United States alone, children of age ranges from 2 to 17 has 91% of video gamers. With that large percentage in just one country, we can already deduce that the world of video games is already widespread among the world, and that the young are the most exposed to it. In 2009, stated that children who find trouble in school decides to spend more time playing video games in order to gain attention from their parents will lead to poor school performance. The nature of our study: we have conducted a quantitative study through primary source and secondary source. It's micro-research where we have taken a small population of children. We conducted survey of boys and girls both. Hypothesis: children are not more addicted to video games. Children are more addicted to video games. Parents do not have control on their children. Parents have control on their children. Video games do not help in the growth of the child. Video games help the growth of the child. Video games do not affect children's health. Video games affect children's health. Now let's go to the survey. We have chosen questionnaire method for collecting data. Paper pencil survey method was used in conducting survey. The sample of 70 children of age group 9 to 20 years have been taken. Both the genders are taken into consideration. We located our target audience from Andheri. Number 1 question, do you like to play video computer games? So the answer is yes for 93% and no for 7% only. How much time did you spend last week playing the video games or your computer games? So 45 children play for 30 minutes, 12 children play for 2 hours, and 6 children play 3 to 4 hours, whereas only 2 children play for 8 hours. If yes, what type of games do you play? 21 children like to play action games, 16 children like to play adventure games, but only 11 children like to play sports video games, whereas 17 children like to play puzzle games. Now, how do you often play? Mostly 32 children prefer playing daily. 24 children play weekly, only 6 children play monthly, and 3 children play semesterly. Do you think video games are educational? 63% of children said video games are not educational, whereas 37 children said video games are educational. Do you play with other family members at home? 60% of children said yes, they play with their family members. On the other hand, 40% children said no. Okay, let's continue. Number 7 question. Do your parents monitor the content of the video games you play? Parents of 47 children are very protective. 15 children's parents think their child is matured enough. Only 3 children said their parents don't care. Number 8. How old were you when you first introduced to the video games? 24 children were first introduced when they were under 7 years. 30 children were introduced when they were under 12 years. And 11 children were under 16 years. 9. Do you use online games to stay in touch with distant friends? The answer is 20 children stay in touch with friends and 45 children do not stay in touch with friends. Number 10. Has playing video games affected your health? 37 children were facing headache problem. 28 children were facing eye problem. Not a single child was facing mental problem. Question 11. Has your playing of video games negatively affected your school grades? 69% children said no, video games have never affected their grades. But 31% children said that their grades got affected. Number 12 question. Have you learned anything from gaming? Okay. 22% of children have learned something from video games, whereas 78% haven't learned anything from video games. Observation. Many children like to play video games. Children hardly play for 30 minutes or 1 to 2 hours. Action games were mostly likely played, and even puzzle and adventurous games. Many children play games daily or weekly, We observe that many parents are protective about their child, so they keep an eye. Headache and eye problem was the problem faced by kids. 22% of children had learned some qualities, whereas 78% have not. For parents, suggestions for parents. Talk to your children about video games. Instead of violent video games, give them educational, interactive games. Work to help outlaw the sale of video games to children in your community. Discuss values and concerns with other parents. Teach your child how to make responsible choices. Understand the risk of allowing your child to be exposed on the video games. Conclusion: video games are often associated with negative health consequences, but when games are played in moderation with mindfulness, they are a viable source of stress relief. Video games themselves are a relatively modern form of entertainment. They are engaging and immersive on a level different from that traditional board games and other forms of entertainment. The player actively contributes to the level of satisfaction he or she attains from his medium, and thus is more invested and willing to engage in the elements of the video game. The amount of play time is also an important factor in the effects of the gaming. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching and listening to our video. Questions at the end of the video to be answered. Okay guys, here are the questions you should answer about the effects of video gaming among children and adults. Okay, your answer must be written on a white bond paper and send the soft copy or JPEG in our Google email. Okay, so question number 1. What are some questions to ask about video games? So you can list down 3 questions about video games. Okay? At number 2, what effects the video games have on children and adults? Number 3, how do video games affect the users? Number 4, what are the negative effects of video games? Okay, at number 5, does video games affect mental health? According to the survey. Number 6, how many hours of video games is too much? Okay guys, those are the 6 questions about the video gaming, positive and negative effect of video games in the health of the users. Well, don't forget to subscribe and make a comment on every video that we uploaded, because your comment serves as your attendance. If you are commenting to the video, it means that you are watching the video. Thank you, and I'll see you on my next topic.